Hey everyone. Amit, we have talked a lot about the future of e-commerce and we have talked about a lot from customer perspective, how what they can expect, what the brand should do. There's one more thing that experts predict that 50% of the revenue by 2026 would come from revenue streams which are not even existing yet. And this poses a very big question that all the organizations and brands and companies need to venture into new businesses, things that are not existing yet. And it from an outsider perspective, it seems like a very big problem statement, because you don't even know what to do. Sometimes the trends are changing so fast, and you don't know what will emerge out of it in terms of uh, behavior, customer behavior, in terms of tech also. So what are your thoughts on how to tackle this situation, these new businesses, these new revenue streams that are coming in?
Yeah, let's start with the fact that the duration of any company, even on something like the NASDAQ, is shrinking over the years, right?
Yes.
So you take the trends all the way from those types of numbers, all the way down to what you predicted. I think it was a McKinsey article that recently talked about businesses need to be ready to have, completely new revenue streams. 50% of their income should come from new businesses within the next 4 years. Now, that's a tall order, like you said, right? Because most people can barely get one business going, right? To start new businesses. So
exactly.
So the issue is, what happens if you don't do it? As in, if you don't do anything, what happens? In 4 years' time, what exactly happens when you don't have new revenue streams? What exactly does that situation mean? And the answer is that a lot of these new, innovations and disruptions and startups and platforms and whatever that's happening all the time has happened, and you have not been able to keep up with that innovation or growth. The internet and technology and whatever else. So this is not so much that you should have 50% of your revenue coming from the new things. It really is, you should be prepared to be innovative and disruptive alongside all the other people who are going to be innovative and disruptive in your industry or adjacent industries, or you're not going to be there because customers are going to move on to the new big thing, next big thing. So the question now becomes, how do I avoid this? Right? And the answer is obviously the big word, innovation. And how do you get innovation? And the answer is, you can't, get innovation, but you can buy innovation. And the way you buy innovation is by investing in creative business, entrepreneurial, startup-y people. And the way you do that is you create a corporate venture fund, which allows you to do what you're doing without any distraction, and all your execs can focus and there's no problems. But there's also options that you're now buying in, the burgeoning innovation space out there through a fund, which is managed professionally, but has corporate, long-term interests at heart. Right? They're not so much about short-term capital. They're not so much about returning the money as much as they are about making sure in 4 years' time, they are the leading forefront of innovation in their industry. Right?
I get that.
So what is it that ultimately you have to view your own venture as, your business as a venture of ventures? If you if your venture is a set of companies that are all equally, responsible to survive and grow, and they all interact together to achieve the greater goal of the venture, the ecosystem now, there is never any lack of reason to innovate, because you now have a thriving marketplace within your venture. The marketplace is the rise of innovation, because I can make money from it. This is the, the invisible hand that produces new things, the mother that is the necessity of invention. Right? Or the whatever, necessity is the mother of invention, right? So we found that mother, we found necessity, right? And necessity comes when, hey, I can take advantage of the lack that I perceive, and I'm going to, put in all my efforts to create something from nothing and participate in that, not just for myself, but for everybody. That becomes, the corporate culture. You're no longer thinking in terms of, traditional hierarchies and roles and blah blah blah, but you're thinking in terms of outcomes and thinking in terms of engagement, and the whole value co-creation process is laid bare to everyone, and you can either be so-called inside or outside. It no longer matters. That's the internet. That enables us.
And the fear of losing everything, of course, like sort of accelerates this entire thought process, because if you don't do it, you'll fail, you'll decline eventually, because you're not keeping up with what is going on in the world. And that gives a lot of opportunity for a different type of not hierarchical, but organizations to come in and work together, and like as you said, mergers, acquisitions, and strategic investments, which bring in different types of systems also into your universe.
Absolutely.
It will also impact the culture at the core organization, and how one deal with such a variety of people.
So it's by recognizing the true variety in the natural universe and making a similar structure available to yourself at so-called work and play and life, and all the different aspects of what we do should be natural, right? It should be organic and natural. If it's unnatural, you will feel it. A disease is unnatural, or you'll feel ill at ease because it's not natural, right? So the natural system is the right system. It's already there, right? When we try to impose something else on it, that's when unnatural starts. So what is it that is the natural thing? The natural thing is a network. We're all part of many networks, and I like to build a network. You like to build. Everybody is part of networks. They build networks. That's the natural way of organizing, not hierarchies. So there may be a role, and there may be many things that a network does together to satisfy its existence, purpose of being. But there's no notion of hierarchies. There is only the notion of function in the various nodes, because every node is operating independently, and it is interacting with other nodes by virtue of being in the network of nodes. Right. So it has self-sovereignty, and it has clearly defined boundaries based on exchange of data and value.
Exactly.
Right? So if you're providing value, people are going to talk to you and going to use you. And if you're not providing value, they'll go find it elsewhere. Now, why is this different inside versus outside the so-called organization? Is a flawed structure. It should be the same inside or outside, right? If I don't find value of a service coming from inside the organization, I should be totally free to find it outside, which is what people end up doing anyways. Right? But so why impose the structure in the first place? Right? So why not build a new organization structure that's built on the notion of networks, where people are primary and they belong and do a function in many networks. And they get compensated based on the function they provide by the network with whom they're having that discussion and becoming a part of it. Right. So it's a so-called gig economy at global scale for everyone. Right. Including CEOs. Right. Like why Jack Dorsey can run, multiple companies, Elon Musk, and we're all in awe of that, right? Like as if it's some great thing. But why not make it so that it's normal for everyone to do that? Because we are already part of multiple networks, and we're already doing all those things. So it's just a question of how much can you manage in your portfolio, so to speak. And that's about it. So it's always a portfolio approach, which means it's always a network of ventures or a venture of ventures that you're a part of. Never one thing, because putting all your eggs in one basket will lead to the failure in 4 years' time, as well identified by McKinsey. So how do I build a culture now that focuses on this dynamic nature of reality? What is that culture? It's the culture of innovation and honesty and integrity and clarity, because we're just talking about value. I mean, we do things, it has value, you use it, you don't use it. It's a very perfectly transparent conversation and culture.
Everybody has the option to everybody has the option to go for the best available solution. They're not restricted to something. they see the value that value in anybody or any network. They can interact with that network, and the culture is developed in such a way that people has freedom. Every node has their own decision making freedom. So
absolutely, and that's called your self-sovereign identity in the world of authorization and all this other stuff, which is, hey, I'm going to hold on to my identity. I'm not defined by either Facebook, nor am I defined by the employer.
Yeah.
Right? Like I work there. It's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not some other relationship. It's a
exactly.
symbiotic relationship. They are happy to have me and I'm happy to have them because they satisfy some, creative itch. I can work anywhere, but I will work with you because, hey, we're doing something cool together, there's an impact. There is meaning. There is, resonance with a broader idea, and not just this narrow, old school money-making mindset, which is money is important, but how about we make it easy for everyone? That's the culture. Abundance. That's the culture, reality, because it's not unnatural, constricted people that are just meant to and forced to do one thing because that's their, place in the hierarchy. No, it's totally inverted.
Yeah. And it's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be more prevalent. And in the coming 3-4 years, there's going to be inversion of all this, I think, across the globe. Should be applied everywhere.
The startup is one of the most, most useful value creation tools in the world. And angel investing is one of the best ways to make money in the world. But both are not understood properly, because there's so much risk involved and so much voodoo and black magic involved. Why don't we make it so that it's a natural process of life, which is business is a natural process of life. We're always buying and selling things. It's not something, magical or corporate-y or capitalistic. It is the basis of civilization. So why not weave that civil culture into normal activities that capture value and share the value with people that co-create it?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how I see it. And we're excited to be a part of that transformation.
Yeah.
We certainly see, in the next, what is it now? It's 2020. So we have about little over 8 years to complete our mission of helping launch 1 million+ new companies and co-creating 100 million jobs, right? That was the original plan 2.5, 3 years ago. And I think we need to revise it upward as people need more help now as the world changes, and the whole thing just is going to, transform in the next 3-4 years. You'll see how the American economy, changes. Let's just put it that way, right? Like we're going through a significant change.
Definitely.
And the world is going through a significant change. So I think that it's just this everything coming together in a perfect storm of hopefully good things, right? Good innovation that comes out. Everyone comes out better. I think that's the opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks, Amit. Thanks so much. And it's really exciting to be a part of such a transition and transformation.
Cool. Yeah, I think so. Cheers.